Whenever the spirit moves, yeah.
How many of you have seen the movie Mean Girls? Looks like almost all of us. Well, although you might not see the resemblance, for many years, I was in a very similar position to Lindsay Lohan's character, Katie, in the movie Mean Girls. My name is Brendan Smith. I'm a first year here at LMU, and in a second, I'll explain why I compared myself to a girl in an early 2000s teen comedy. And for you to get to know me a little better, I'm going to talk about where I'm from and a little bit about where I'm going. To begin, I'll talk about my upbringing so you can get a better idea of what shaped me into who I am today. The reason why I made the Mean Girls comparison is that I grew up all around the world as a kid, most notably Africa. I spent my days running around in bare feet, hunting owls with slingshots, catching chameleons, and making cards out of the clay in my backyard, all that fun stuff. And those years were incredibly formative for me, which made the transition to the U.S. all the harder back in 5th grade. For example, I'd never heard of the NFL or Ben 10 or Pokemon, and that seemed to be all that my peers talked about. It was hard to fit in. And the confusion and often embarrassment I felt was much like Katie felt in the movie. But now, 8 years later, I'm just as American as the next guy, but I still call Africa my home. Now that you know a little about where I'm from, I'm going to talk about where I'm going.
I'm going to, Brennan, do you mind folding your paper?
Sure.
And holding onto it a little bit, potentially, I don't know if you can hold it up a bit. Yeah! And then that other hand, if the spirit moves you, you can use it. Or because do people tend to say that your disposition is do people ever say like, oh gosh, you're so uptight, Brennan? No.
I'm sure sometimes I am.
Oh, I don't know. You seem so even-keeled to me. And this is what I'm going to say, is that I almost feel like, do you ever put your hand in your pocket? It almost works for you. I think it's going to work. If it feels better to hold something, because you were holding things like that, if it feels better, you can put one in the pocket, and this will give the natural idea. If you want to utilize that hand and pocket it every now and again, great. We'll see what works.
Okay.
Let's try to
So
use
like
it.
moving around.
Not so much. It's just that the paper was larger, and so every time you go to look, it becomes so much more obvious because you're also so tall. Sometimes on tall, we have to fake things by being able to pull it, like people who have a shorter waist, right? I can look right here, and it doesn't look like I'm so much doing it. Even if I put it out a little bit, I can gauge out if it's not so much in. So even if you wanted to pull it from your body a bit, but really it was just because it was larger. You want to use a hand. All right, let's see. Keep going. Let's hear the second one.
Now that you know a little about where I'm from, I'm going to tell you about where I'm going. If all goes according to plan, I'll graduate from here in 4 years with a degree in mechanical engineering. I see myself working in the valley a little bit, getting some experience in industry, maybe in renewable energies or manufacturing, research and development. I'm not really sure yet. However, in the long term, I'd like to reconnect that passion and the experience gained in the industry with sort of where I'm from, the third world countries. The needs of the people in the world's poorest continent still aren't being met a lot of times, and in a lot of ways it's with the most basic of needs. The needs for electricity and water filtration, a lot of medication and vaccinations, those needs aren't being met. And so finding ways to do that cost effectively and on a large scale would be really fulfilling, I feel. And in closing, I've told you a little bit about where I'm from and a little bit about where I'm going. And now you know why in some ways I'm like Katie from Mean Girls, and in other ways I've embraced that part of my past and will continue to embrace it moving forward into the future.